Pathfinders, today we are continuing the conversations again. Today I have with me Staff Sergeant Chris McCoy, who is 50% of our outstanding Equal Opportunity or EO office. So Chris, along with Master Sergeant Seda Jolly, have been getting out and about. You were already doing a lot of things to help our wing as the EO office, but particularly in the last few weeks, you have been really, I would say, upping your game and getting out and about that much more to really help us work through the issues that we're seeing right now. So, Chris, what can you tell me about our Equal Opportunity Office? What kinds of things do you do as an EO office, and what kinds of initiatives are you rolling out across the wing?
Okay, so basically we go out and about with helping agencies. We do HRE training, which is human relations education to promote the EO awareness, promote awareness for the EO program.
Okay.
There's all those programs. What they do is they promote pretty much unit cohesiveness, mission readiness, and also foster an environment free from unlawful discrimination and harassment, to include sexual harassment.
Chris, this is something that you and Sergeant Jolly and I mean a lot of our airmen, a lot of our black airmen have really been helping me over the past few weeks, helping me to understand and see your perspective, which is different than mine, about what's happening in America. What do you think? What's going on in your mind? I asked General Clark the same question last week. What's going on in your mind as you watch what's happening in America right now?
It's interesting because, yes, I'm black. Everyone can see that I'm black, and I think we had this conversation with you earlier, like you being a white male,
I'm a white male,
right?
exactly.
Having to deliver this message to other people in your audience that may be black, or that are black. So there are certain people that might not take your message the right way. But I like what you did. You admitted, like, hey, I'm a white male,
Yep.
and I don't know how to answer this question. And I told you I wouldn't want to be in your shoes in that same situation too, right? But my thoughts is obviously the events back in the States and everything that's going on around the world is very unfortunate. But I think that what we can do is we can take those events and, like, now we can rewrite history in a sense. So we can change the trajectory, and focus on focus on things that what we can do to make sure that everyone's afforded the same rights and opportunities. Make sure everything is a level playing field for all races and color.
Yeah, I love that message. I love General Clark talking. When I asked him kind of the same question, the first thing he talked about was the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I think that's an amazing part of our heritage as an Air Force. But now, especially, what an inspirational thing to look at, because I firmly believe, when we look at what can we do in the wing, what can we do in our Air Force, we can't necessarily change America tomorrow. This is going to be a long process.
Right.
But when I look at things like the Tuskegee Airmen, desegregation of the military long before the Civil Rights Act in America, I feel like, hey, we can make progress. We can make progress right here in our wing that will then later change the Air Force and change our country. And
Right.
so I guess that leads me to my next question then, Chris. What kinds of things do you see us doing across the wing here in the next few weeks, months, and the next year to help us take those first steps?
Okay. So, like I said earlier, we did the Juneteenth event a couple weeks ago. So keep doing it, promoting events like that, and not necessarily just for the black people, just for everyone.
Yeah.
Because we're not the only ones that's being discriminated against in the military. Even white people are being discriminated against in the military too, right? But holding events such as like vigils, like recognizing, like showing that we recognize everything that's going on in the States and over here as well. So vigils, Juneteenth events, doing special services events that promote promote inclusiveness.
Yeah.
Keep doing the outreach programs. Not letting this just be a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what other people are afraid of. They think that, okay, we're just going to do this, and then what are we going to do to help to keep preventing that? Is this a one-time thing, or is it a continuous thing? So the same that way that we treat sexual assault in the military, we should treat race and discrimination and all the other stuff that goes on within our EO realm. We should treat it the same way as well.
Yeah.
And not just being so reactive, because that's what it could turn into. It could be something reactive versus being something preventive.
Yeah, I love that. I love that answer, because that is in you and Seda and I had this conversation a few weeks ago. It's the, hey, we can't just face this problem now and do great things here for a couple weeks and then call it good. I mean, like we said, hey, this isn't going to change America tomorrow. So, we got work to do. So that's my commitment, that I gave you as our EO office, but it's my commitment that I've given to the wing, which is hey, we are going to sustain this effort. And again, I don't have all the answers. In fact, I'm finding I have very few of the answers, but thankfully we have great airmen like you and like Master Sergeant Jolly. I met with the African American Heritage Council at Croton last week. Sergeant C, another great airman in our wing who has a lot of great ideas. And so I'm very much leaning on our airmen to help me guide this process through the wing. And I love that we're keeping the focus on, and we're going to continue to do that. We talked about saying, hey, it's time to start a conversation, and now more than ever, we need to listen to each other. How can our airmen across the wing have these conversations? What advice do you have when you go do an outreach to one of our units or one of our work centers? What advice do you have for our airmen? Airmen like maybe I was a few weeks ago, which was, hey, I don't know how to start this conversation. What can you tell them?
So going back to the beginning of the question that you said the word listen. I think that's what a lot of leaders, not necessarily you, but a lot of leaders lack that quality. They don't want to listen to the airmen because some leaders feel that they have all the answers. So just listen. And if you don't know what to say, that's fine. And be okay with silence too. So how to have those conversations is not it's not a one answer. It's not an easy question to answer. But those, you gotta know how to have those difficult conversations with airmen. And just you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But it's a conversation that needs to be had. So recognizing the differences that each and every one of you are going to have. Once you recognize those differences, you'll be able to celebrate those differences as well.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. Listening, that's exactly. And I have to remind myself that, and I think you're going to have to remind me that at times because I try and solve problems. Right.
But even me, I'm a talker. And I have a hard, it's weird because I have a hard time listening, and being an EO, you have to listen. If you can't listen, you can't do your job effectively. So you have to listen to other people's problems and what it is that they're going through. Because if not, everything that they're saying is going to go over your head, and they may have said something important that you could have answered or that you could have helped them get towards whatever resolution they're trying to get towards. So especially now, being in your shoes, and you may not understand what other airmen are going through. So if you listen to what they're going through, you'll be able to help them. Or what can I do to help you get to where you want to be? Yeah,
I'm trying to be a better listener, and you guys are definitely helping me get there. But I think I love that message though too for our airmen, because I know I was there, and I think it really was a conversation with you and Sergeant Jolly that we had a few weeks back that helped me maybe at least get started in the right direction, which was, me saying, hey, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what the right answer is. So how do I have these conversations? And that's kind of what you told me. Hey, number one, listen. And number two, don't feel like you have to say the right things all the time. Because I won't. I'm confident I'm not going to say the right things.
Right. If you had all the answers, we would not be where we are today.
That's right. So, if this was easy, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right. So we don't even in the EO office, we don't expect everyone to understand what lawful discrimination looks like or what unlawful discrimination looks like. That's what we're here for. We're the SMEs when it comes to equal opportunity. So we don't expect for you to have all the answers.
Yeah, that's great, because I promise you that I don't, and I think you already know that.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Thank you guys. It's because airmen like you in the wing are helping me and helping Chief Keen, helping our leadership teams. I think for me though, and something that you and Sergeant Jolly are really helping with it's the outreach that you mentioned, because as much as Chief Keen and I would like to get out and talk to all 2,000 airmen across the wing, we just can't. We just can't be everywhere all the time. And the way our base is spread across, or the way our wing is spread across 8 bases in 2 countries, we just can't be everywhere all the time. And so what Chief Keen and I have talked about is it's so important for our frontline supervisors to be the ones having these initial conversations. Right. But I'm not confident that every staff sergeant and captain and lieutenant in our wing is comfortable doing that. And so I think it's the outreach efforts from from our EO office and from other organizations and other airmen that are helping some of our frontline supervisors to get more comfortable with that.
Right.
And so I know you and SSgt have had a lot to do with that, and I appreciate those efforts.
Yeah, so we do a lot of facilitation these days, and those commanders that are out there, do not be afraid to reach out to the EO office to help us, or for us to help you with those facilitations. Because even if you have the slightest clue that it might go wrong, at least we're there to help guide you all in the right direction. Because you don't want us to not be there, and then a whole situation blows up, and then you have the whole different kind of EO situation.
Yeah, and you had good intentions of having these conversations, and then
Right.
unbeknownst to you, made it worse. And that's I know that's a situation that some people it's probably going through their minds of, hey, I don't want to be the cause of making this worse.
Right.
So I appreciate what you guys are doing. So one last thing that I wanted to introduce today that I know you're going to help me with is, Chief Keen and I started back in January with the introduction of the Year of the Pathfinder. And we did all of our bases in 1 week, and we introduced the concept that a Pathfinder is certain things. A Pathfinder is ready, Pathfinder is resilient, they're innovative, they're professional, and they're connected. And as we have gone through these events over the past few weeks, Chief Keen and I have recognized that, when we said what a Pathfinder is, we were missing something. And so now we're going to roll back out. We're going to try and get back to the Year of the Pathfinder now by saying, hey, a Pathfinder is also diverse. And we missed that one the first time around, but we recognize that now. And so, yes, those things that a Pathfinder is, especially resilient and innovative, that's helped us get through the coronavirus pandemic and lockdown. It's helping us get through these race relations issues that we're talking about. But we recognize now that, as we get back to the Year of the Pathfinder, we need to help everyone to understand that a Pathfinder is diverse as well. And so, that is going to be our message to the wing that we're going to be pushing now to say, hey, how do we sustain this? Well, partly by moving back to the Year of the Pathfinder and making 2020 that year that we can look back on now and go, that's when we started to make positive change.
Yeah.
And you and the EO office are certainly going to be a big part of helping us with that.
Right.
So looking forward to that.
I appreciate this.
Yeah. Chris, what else do you got to say to our Pathfinder Nation?
Nothing. Just do not be afraid to reach out to the EO office if you ever need any help. It's just two of us, but with me and Sergeant Jolly, we're both able to divide and conquer. I know we have so many different locations, so we have 7 different locations within the 501st. So even if we can't get out to Stavanger or we can't get out to Menwith Hill, we have Zoom. We have we're in the world of technology now, so there's ways that we can make it happen. It might not happen today, it might not happen next week, but we'll make it happen. So do not be afraid to reach out to us.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can tell you, I know that Chris and Sergeant Jolly, they are genuine about that. They are truly here to help. Chris, hey, thanks again for joining me today. I really appreciate having this conversation with you. And thanks for all the help that the EO office is providing our wing as we work through this.
No problem, sir. We're here for you.
Thank you.
All right.